with sheer drops and craggy edges. This is Via Ferrata. It's a heart-in-mouth scramble.
Does it show?
In the Italian Alps, hundreds of peaks marking the nation's border with France. On one summit sits the Sacre de Saint-Michel monastery. It's visited by thousands each year, but for the 145 reservists from 3rd Battalion Royal Anglian Regiment, it's not your usual day trip.
Yeah, look at the height of that. That's going to be outside of a few people's comfort zones. It's going to get people comfortable with doing things they wouldn't normally do, trusting the kit and equipment they've got, trusting the blokes with them to make sure they've done all the techniques properly, all the ropes are attached properly.
There's only one way up for these guys and girls, using steel cables and carabiners.
You basically climb up a rock, up the face, walking, clipping in your 2 carabiners. If anyone's ever been to Go Ape, it's the same idea in England as Go Ape. And you slide these up and then move the next one up over the bolt that comes out of the rock, and you're all connected. I just love the views.
Many on this ascent have never climbed before. Tackling this after just 2 days of training from the Italian army is a classic example of throwing people into the deep end.
There were some very, very nervous people. I mean, you don't just climb 900 metres via ferrata without nerves. And so what we were hoping for is that they would take a couple of things away: resilience, a lot of pride, a bond of friendship, and actually the ability to kind of think about doing something slightly different in a different manner. We could do UK training in the UK, but actually coming to a NATO partner nation, to get their view on how to do things, and certainly in the climate that we're in, mountain, allows us to further our own tactical knowledge based on their experience and how they do things.
The experience is full body. Stuffing toes into crevices, grabbing at outcrops and overcoming fears. Carefully clipping, unclipping, climbing, crawling and focusing on the path ahead, not the drop below. And after 3 hours of scramble, sweat and fears, the reservists emerge victorious.
You've got that safety rope, or two safety ropes, so you're never going to fall off. And I think it's more about challenging the physical and mental restraints that you've got and just going for it. And once you've actually learned to trust in yourself, then everything becomes much more enjoyable. And the views are fantastic here.
The graft is worth it for this alone.
It's 3 hours of reasonably arduous climbing. So yeah, lots of pauses on the way up to have a look around, to try and take things in and see the faces of the soldiers. Great.
Yeah, this sort of exercise is pretty much the first time I've ever sort of climbed up a rock face here. It's a really steep learning curve, literally.
So the Italians is like they're brilliant at what they showed us and how to do stuff. So I learned a lot.
What did you learn?
Basically how to climb a mountain.
Big smile, that's what I like to see.
Yeah. It was good. It sure feels good at the top.
It's good to see what the reserves are actually doing, the kind of training that they're going through here, and also to have the Italians to help. So Angelo helped me up there and it was amazing. It was a really great experience.
Okay, Ricky.
On the outskirts of Turin, 3rd Battalion, the Royal Anglian Regiment, are taking a leap of faith. Sent over the edge by some of NATO's mountaineering masters, the Italian Army's 3rd Alpini Regiment.
I think climbing in general is similar wherever you go, but I think the way the Italians are running it here is really enjoyable. I am quite scared of heights, but they've sort of just thrown me off the zip line, and when you get to the top they just push you off, and yeah, they do help. They're really good at what they're doing.
3rd Alpini Regiment is home to Italy's premier infantry soldiers, mountaineers with extreme fitness levels, who this week have been tasked with putting 145 reserves through their paces on multiple terrains.
If we have something to teach them, it's good for them, but it's also very important for us to know something new from them.
It's not just climbing skills being shared. Battlefield triage and weapons familiarisation is also on the cards.
So this is clearly their weapon system, their equivalent, the SA-80. You could well find yourself, couldn't you, in Kabul or somewhere, working as part of a multinational force, and therefore you might have to get familiar with another weapon system. So if somebody overruns the gate or something, maybe it could be quite useful. The BV vehicles we were going around in earlier, very, very very new to me. So asking me a question about what do I get out of the reserve, I guess variety, challenge, opportunity.
As NATO partners, 3rd Alpini's commander believes building battlefield trust between the UK and Italy is vital.
Wherever we deployed in the recent past, and more likely wherever we will deploy in the next future, we will have to work together. Of course, there are some difficulties, some challenges, but they have to be faced, because it's better to do that now when we are training than to do that when we will actually have to fight a common enemy.
For Officer Cadet Emma Curtis, interoperability is on her mind. As the rules around the roles women can take change, this training is allowing her to make informed career decisions.
There's a lot of factors to consider. I really enjoy green training, I really enjoy being out in the field. It sounds crazy to a lot of people, but it's just trying to work out, if I'm doing a commission, I'm not in it just for a couple of years, I want to make more of a career out of it. Do I want to actually be infantry, or do I want to look at other roles like intelligence? So it opens up a lot more doors. It's just thinking about what you kind of want, because every woman's different. Not every woman wants to be running around on the front line.
With recruitment and retention a priority for the British Army, it's hoped providing reservists with new skills and experiences will inspire more to sign up and stay.
All my team, they're all absolutely humbled by these men and women that, you know, some of them work 18-hour shifts, come and do this, and then go back to a full day's week. You know, it's an absolute privilege to command individuals with that much dedication. And I think the old narrative of what the reserve or the old guard TA used to be is completely different. And when we deploy with regular soldiers, a lot of the regular soldiers are really, really astounded by the level of skill that the reservists have.
Maintaining them will be an important part of the Army's future.